So without the when clause, it's much more like a topic comment sentence. So now again, I'm going to recommend when you do years, go old-fashioned 1937. I know you can do 19, there's 19. I would recommend, for clarity's sake, do old-fashioned 1937. What? I can't do it on command. Okay. So we could go through and point to all these. Why is this not moving? Okay. IX, remember that's pointing to. So if we got the picture up there, you can point to that. Each of these, 1950. How sad a story. Like, do we need this? But notice how the order of information is just slightly different. What we're doing is, when this event happened, it was this. So here's the topic, here's the statement, the year. Right? So just getting used to that. So if you want, I mean, you can practice with this story, you can continue working on your own events. So it's person who we're talking about. Second, what's the event that happened? Here's the topic, right? And then the last one is what year. And that's so we don't have a specific when it happened. I was 15. So it's slightly different. We're than like asking a question or a rhetorical question. We're just floating eyebrows a little bit to say this event, this is when it happened. Okay. Again, referring to year, as I pointed out with the previous chapters, like this is just giving ideas of how these things happen. I just want to look at, hold on, let me move back here. Okay, and to sort of cap this whole thing off, now if we want to look at, we can refer by age, we refer by event to event to event, we can refer by year, and we can sequence events. So with each of these, you can lead off with that in 1937, this happened. 1940, this happened. 1950, this happened, right? Or you can go, this happened, 1930, this happened, 1940, this happened, 1950. Right? So either way, you can set the order, whatever makes sense in your story. And now you can sequence the events and put them in an order, basically telling a story, right? What this does is, this is the conjugating of a complex sentence, right? So we don't have to do individual ones. We can do this happened, this happened, this happened, right? Sequencing of events. It would be weird to sequence years, right? 1930, 1931, 1932. You set one up, 1930, and then the next thing happens, 1935. So in this sense, the events would make the most sense to chain. So you do, here's what happened to Jose. He entered deaf school, he was raised, he graduated. Notice they're each verbs, right? They're actions, they're events that happened. So in class, I would copy sentences from the story itself, and you would just copy. They do this for growing up years, right? So from freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So it's just saying, new event, new event, new event, new event, right? Topic, 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 topic. So they're all basically the same. And I tend to do this for move away if you don't know what the destination is. If you know what the destination is, it's a little bit clearer to do here, moving from this place to this place. If you don't know where they moved from, they just moved here from wherever, as opposed to moved away. You know, like old middle school, elementary school friends whose family just move away and you never see them again, right? So again, event, event, event. What they mean by tilting, so like here's this, 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 and that partners with the eyebrows up. So you move back, then eyebrows up for it. So it's almost that contrastive structure idea where I'm like, oh, come here, did this, pull back, do this, pull this, do this. Right? So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. And as you watch the storytelling, hopefully it will even look more interesting. This is a really, there's not much in this chapter. It's really an activity. I could probably have blended it with other ones, but I figured this was a nice little self-contained set of lessons. So, sequencing events. Graduate college, second one, travel around. So back, arrive, that's the third one in that list. Or start work. You'll see both ways. Start, where it turns this way, forward. Or you'll see ones where it kind of swings under. Start, work, start, work. I tend to do this because it's more like starting a car, but some people do it this way. So here's the contrasting sentence structure. First is using the when clause. Before, right? So the timeline, it's pulling it back, right? Because the future is in front. So what'd you do before you got your car license? Temporary license, permit, take up, test, pass. So two different ways you can introduce information, right? You can say, what did you do before you got your license? Or you can say, I did this, this, and this before I got my license. So one is a question to get information. It could be rhetorical. You say, well, what do I have to do? I did these three things. Or you could just say, I did this, 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 and then what? I got my license. So that has all the same flexibility that English has. And a good way is just to practice these forms. Even if it's a matter of like write the same sentence or the same idea down as a question or as a statement, sequence of events, and sign both of those and see how they feel. Most of the time, you'll know if it feels wrong. As you start signing, it goes, oh, that seems weird. Anyway, we could do more, getting a car, what's involved in getting a dog. What are the steps? So think about these. What are the steps in doing that? In your own life, what are the steps you have to take for your major or to sign up for classes or any of a number of different things, right? If at work, what are the steps to turning on the and loading the ice cream machine? If you're at McDonald's, you basically say, oh, it's never on, it never works, right? Isn't that how it goes? Now, what if it was an unexpected change? What if it was something that you weren't anticipating happening? Oftentimes you'll see this, oh, wrong. And that's like, blah, blah, everything's going right, and then something went wrong. Okay, and it's not a very heavy, like, oh my god, no, it's just nuts, right? Um, so enter college, started to go up the years, and by the time we got to here, right, boom, boom, something went wrong. I got sick, dropped out sophomore year, right? Um, so conceive is oftentimes this. This is the sign for pregnant, boom. Most of the time, this is used for to become pregnant, right? So the verb. Fall in love, unexpectedly. So event, time, whatever the factors are about it, boom, wrong. So in many ways, you can think of it's like event, oops is the conjunction that leads to here's what the problem, here's what happened was. In many ways, you'll feel that this is like we're using conjunctions, right? How do you link events together? Positive right now, boom. Oh, wrong, laid off, 2 months. So laid off is, it's like the sign for excused, but you're sort of brushed off. Laid off, 2 months. Oh, wait, or 2 months. Oh. Burn down. Ugh. So buy a house. As if actually, depending on how you do house, you're actually putting the house right there, right? But burn. So burn and then down, right? Collapse. Wow, these are so happy-go-lucky stories. So now we could add. Tell me something that went wrong in your life. I mean, I don't want, if we're doing it in class, I recommend not doing something that's going to make you burst out into tears and, need to rush to therapy. Pick something, even make up something. I never need to know the truth, especially when we're in class, in public. Just as long as you use the, as long as you use the correct format, I'm fine. Just sign something. Actually, feel free to make up something ridiculous. And then the devil grabbed me. Aliens abducted me and took me out and inspected me. Whatever. So we'll be using hung. Oh, it's really, in my mind, what sounds the sound that goes is oop, oops, this happened. And then what was the new direction? Oh, and that's really everything. Why don't I do this? Why is this not? There we go. Copy. Boosh. You don't really need to see this, but wow, it's amazing how slow this is when this is up. Okay, so that's really all there is in 1503. 15 has a bunch of smaller things. This one had a few more pieces of meat on these bones, but it's just practicing how do you talk about the events and sequences of events.